Hello everyone, welcome back to Metroid. Here we are in Norfair. Last time we were in Brinstar, and we are now in Norfair. We've got a few new enemies here, a lot of new enemies here. That was called a squeeped. These fireball shooters are known as polyps. You can't destroy them or anything, but they shoot a lot of fireballs and you have to dodge them. We've got another missile tank. The reason I decided to come to Norfair is because I wanted to stock up on some missile tanks, because Norfair has a crap ton of missile tanks. We're not going to collect all of them here, if I remember correctly, because I had this game recorded for quite a few months now. I think I've had it recorded for almost a year. But I don't think I'm going to be collecting all the missiles here, at least not yet. But I am going to be collecting quite a few, because Norfair has a lot of missiles. Brinstar doesn't really have all that much. If you were to look up a map of the game, which the game encourages you to create your own map so that you won't get lost. I think the game wants you to actually build a map throughout your based on your experiences with the game, because the game does give somewhat of an idea of how Planet Zebes is shaped, but it doesn't give you a full concrete description of what the map looks like. It shows you the locations and where exactly they are, according to how the map looks anyway. It's not super detailed, but but saying that to say, the game wants you to design your own map, which sounds pretty interesting and pretty fun for a game from 1986, and I'm pretty sure a lot of kids from 1986 thought that was a pretty fun and interesting idea. But considering nowadays that you can just look up a map on the internet today, I'm sure not a lot of people are going to want to do that, because this game is infamous for getting a player lost, because it's not like Super Mario Brothers where you start from one end of the level. You start at the left of a level and then you make your way all the way to the right, and dodge all these obstacles and stuff. It's got all the obstacles, but it's not linear. It's not linear like Super Mario Brothers. It's very open-ended. There's no goal at the end of the level. In fact, the whole world is connected somehow. There's really no level. You have one goal, well, two goals that are a part of the same goal: destroy the Metroids and destroy Mother Brain. That's the goal of the game. It doesn't have multiple goals. You don't reach multiple flagpoles in order to get to the final goal of the game. It's one goal, but you have to. But in order to accomplish that goal, there are certain things you have to do. There are certain obstacles that you have to conquer, and in order to do that, in order to overcome those obstacles, you have to collect items. And Norfair has a lot of items to collect, especially a lot of missile tanks, as I mentioned before. But there is one item in particular that I want to collect before we head back to Brinstar, because we'll be coming back to Norfair later on. Now, this is not a strategy that a lot of Metroid players use. A lot of people start off you start the game off in Brinstar, but everybody pretty much immediately makes their way to Norfair and collects all the items, and then fight the mini boss that's below Norfair, which is something I will get into later on. But for right now, I'm not gonna do that because I want to focus on just collecting. There's an item that I want to collect. These seahorse enemies are called dragons. I'm not even kidding. So before we collect that item, there's something that I need to get from over here. I'm trying to find out what that is because I don't remember. Those enemies are called multi-viola. I don't know where that came from. One thing about this game is that they'll have enemies, like, spawn out of nowhere. Like, you'll be going through a door, and then there will be an enemy right at the door ready to kiss you. And it absolutely sucks. Like, that's one of the worst things about this game. Because why is it programmed that way? I mean, it isn't any... Look at this. That shouldn't even be legal. That's really bad design. And I mentioned that this game does a lot of copying and pasting, and this is definitely an example of that because we came out of a room that is built exactly like this. Which is one of the reasons why it's pretty hard for a lot of people to play this game nowadays, because it's very easy to get lost because a lot of the different caves in this game look pretty much the same. I'm using a lot of missiles here because missiles, as I mentioned before, are the best weapons in the game. I could just I could try and just save all my missiles, but that's the reason why we're here in Norfair, to collect missiles, among another item that I'm trying to get. But the more missiles that you collect, the more you can use them. At first, I wasn't using them very much in Brinstar because there wasn't a lot that I could use. But now that we're collecting a lot of them now, I can use them a bit more sparingly, and it makes taking out enemies a lot quicker. I'll come back to that, don't worry. Yeah, so the ice beam plus missile combo is undefeated, kind of, at least for right now. It makes it a lot easier to get rid of enemies. Because you could just end up shooting, like, you could spam the beam button and just try and shoot the enemies down. But an enemy like this that moves super fast, you want to get rid of it as quickly as possible, because they're really hard to dodge. Which is why I opt to use the ice beam and then shoot a missile. That was the result of me getting nervous and trigger happy and unfreezing them. Oh, which, by the way, that enemy was called a Garuta. I got their name wrong earlier, I think. These guys are called Novas. The ones that crawl around like Zoomers. They're essentially flaming hot Zoomers. They behave the exact same way. So right now I'm on my way to get the key item that I'm trying to get. It's gonna be helping us out quite a bit when we go back to Brinstar to collect another item. That was a jump cut because it took me quite some time to figure out where I needed to be. I realized that I wasn't in the right place, so I needed to head back. I needed to head back up a little bit. This is the place I needed to be. I needed to refer back to the map I was using. Here we are in another item room. Oh, by the way, you can only shoot one missile on the screen at a time. And here are the high jump boots. They speak for themselves. They allow Samus to jump even higher. And they would have been great for that one section in Brinstar. Unfortunately, they can't help you jump higher out of lava or acid. I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier, but the lava does more damage than the acid does. Because Norfair is probably... I think Norfair is considered it is the hottest area in Planet Zebes. It is considered... You could probably consider it the navel of the planet. It is, as is the closest area to the planet's core. This game doesn't really get a chance to show how hot this place could be. It doesn't really get a chance to like show exactly how hot Norfair really is, due to the limitations. But you know, it's an NES game. It's like, what can you do? I don't think I meant to die there, but at the same time I probably did. Look at that password, that is crazy. But it was, but it actually helped me out. It saved me the trouble of going back. Though I was trying to farm for energy on my way back. But it did save me some trouble. Anyway, we're leaving Norfair for right now and we're headed back. By the way, when you die in a certain area, like if you were to die in Brinstar, you start at the beginning of Brinstar. We died in Norfair just now, so we started at the elevator of Norfair, so that's where we responded. So as you can see, I'm just freezing these enemies, trying to leave them in place so that they won't try and attack me, because we're low on energy right now. I mentioned in part 1 that when you die and you respawn, you start with 30 energy. You start with 30 HP, so that's really, really not good. It's one of the many flaws of this game. I do wish that they would just start you off at full health. Like, I've got an energy tank already, which means that I would have to farm for however long in order to go back, in order to get back to full health. The best way to get back to full health is to get another energy tank, unfortunately. Like, that sucks. Because I'm not really 100% sure how the RNG works. I'm pretty sure that the speedrunners could answer that in depth. But the enemy drops in this game are very situational. Like I'm really not sure how it works, but it seems like the RNG is very situational. Like right now I'm getting a few drops, but I think it's only because I'm pretty low on health, but it could take forever to get back to full health, because a lot of the energy drops that you get are worth 5 HP. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you'll get 20. Sometimes you'll get 10. Missile drops, on the other hand, you only get 2. I had to make sure that I was going through the right door. And that's the ceiling. So that's the highest door up here. Too bad I couldn't shoot those guys at the same time. So now we're on our way to get the next item in the game. You have to be careful in these pipes. A lot of zoomers could sneak up on you, but they're all visible enough. There's also some different blocks that you can fall through. If you land a bomb in the wrong area, you could end up blasting one of the blocks, and it'll make you fall through. And you don't want to do that because you'll end up in the acid. So here's our next location. What you want to do, well, is do that. That's one way to do it. Try not to fall right here. And then just make your way up to the top. There's another way that you can do that without the high jump boots, but I've tried and I just didn't feel like doing. I just decided to go for the high jump boots. Granted, my strategy and the order I'm collecting items, me going to Norfair just to get the high jump boots and the missiles. I could have just gone to the second mini boss area, but I wanted to fight all the bosses in order, according to the instruction manual anyway. Gonna get rid of these guys because they can actually attack you while you're transitioning to the other side. This right here is the Varia, also known as the Varia suit. The word Varia is a mistranslation of the word barrier, which indicates that this suit acts as a barrier for, which indicates that the Varia acts as a barrier for Samus' power suit, making it much more durable. The only thing I don't like about it is that it makes the suit look like very, very bright pink, as opposed to the orange. I guess that's another technological limitation, is the usage of colors, or the amount of colors that the game has. Because most people know that the Varia suit looks a lot different in a lot of the other games, and this is just a recolor. It does the exact same thing that it's supposed to do. It increases the durability of the power suit. And while we're here, we may as well collect some more missiles. By the way, these little guys that like to zoom around in the air, left and right, are called rippers. According to the instruction manual, these strange creatures do not have brains. They simply fly around sluggishly in straight lines. And we're also coming up on another energy tank, which is great. It's too bad that you have to rely on, like, sometimes you may have to rely on energy tanks to try and restore most of your health, if not all of it. I'm glad that the game is generous enough to completely refill your health after collecting an energy tank, because that would be BS. Like, you may as well not even have energy tanks if you're not going to be able to refill them. One thing I've noticed, if you look at the gameplay, I morph into a ball and allow myself to fall in morph ball form. The reason I do that is because I noticed that Samus seems to fall faster. I could be wrong on that, but maybe somebody could help me out with that. But Samus seems to fall faster, which is why I do it. Another thing about falling is that when Samus falls from a certain height, when you jump from a certain height, while you're spin jumping, I don't think I even talked about the different jumps, because Samus has two jumps. You have a straight jump, and you have a spin jump, which is like this. One thing I've noticed when it comes to the jump height is that while you're jumping, spin jumping specifically, if you jump from a certain height and then you fall below that height, Samus will exit spin jump form and then just go back to the straight jump. Like if I'm spin jumping from a platform that's higher than where I'm gonna land, I'm going to end up falling out of spin jump form and just going back into my normal jump, if that makes any sense. The gameplay shows that much better than I'm explaining it, hopefully. We've got a hallway full of rippers and zoomers here. I could be wrong about the morph ball falling, the fast falling though, because like I could probably be falling at the exact same height. I'm glad that those zoomers don't go through the doors and they just go up them. Like that's one problem with the zoomers. They always get in the way at the worst possible time. Like they'll be spawning and going and running away from you, like crawling away from you, which is weird because in Super Mario Brothers, every enemy is headed in your direction. You never come across an enemy in that game that doesn't head in your direction, that heads in the opposite direction of you. But for some reason, this happens in this game. Probably just because of limitations, I'm sure. So this is the mini-boss hideout. We're not going to be going in just yet. We will be in the next video. I'm headed down the elevator to the depths of Brinstar. And in the next video, we're going to be going through the mini-boss hideout. And we're going to be fighting the mini-boss there. And I'm pretty sure you guys know which boss that is. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Have a blessed day.